Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Before we get into today's video, I wanted to take just a quick second to share with you my top 3 MaligatorMom must-haves. First on my list is tactipup.com. Now these are the collars that you see my dogs wearing in all my videos, and I personally prefer the 2-inch width. You can get them with their name embroidered on them, and I always have them at a handle. These collars are made with a cobra buckle and all metal hardware. They are incredibly durable and they are made right here in the USA. So if you're interested, check out tactipup.com and use my code MaligatorMom to save 10%. And number 2, everybody wants to know, what do you feed your dogs? Well, this is it. I feed my dogs Munster milling. Now this is a customizable kibble, so you can actually go onto their website and select additives that they will mix fresh into your bag. It's absolutely phenomenal. I add things like bacon fat, salmon oil, probiotic, and freeze-dried elk. If you're interested, use my code MaligatorMom and you will save 55% off your first custom bag. And number 3, if you are interested in online dog training videos, you definitely need to check out robertcabral.com. I have consumed a lot of online dog training videos, and Robert is by far the best. Head over to robertcabral.com, use code MaligatorMom. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's me, MaligatorMom, and today we are going to talk all about focus and engagement. And if you are someone who is struggling with those things, do you struggle to keep the attention of your dog? Do you feel like your dog does not give you that focus and engagement that you would like? Today's video is for you. A question that I have been asked by several of my trainer friends is this: does your dog find you more interesting than dirt? And that was tough for me to hear, but it really did get me thinking, because here I was struggling with my 9-week-old puppy, Storm, and I could not get her to engage with me. I could not get her interested in me. It didn't seem to matter what I did. She was more interested in sniffing the grass or marking on a tree or running off after a butterfly than she was engaging with me. And so I knew that something there had to change. There had to be an answer. There had to be a way to encourage this dog to engage with me. But at that point in time, I really was lost, because every Malinois that I had ever encountered before that had high engagement. It really came naturally to that dog. So when I came across Storm and that wasn't the case, she didn't naturally seek me out or seek to engage with me, I wasn't quite sure what to do. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who's been faced with this situation. And then of course, over time, I've had many sessions with my own personal dogs where I was not satisfied with their level of engagement. And so I sought out different ways that I could improve that. And I've learned a lot over the years from watching, hours and hours of content online, from working with professional trainers in person. And I've picked up a few tips that I think solve that problem. At least it's what's worked for me. And so I want to pass it on to you guys today. So the first thing I had to do was understand what engagement really was, what engagement really looked like from your dog. Because I personally thought that my dogs were engaging with me whenever I would do a training session. So any type of luring, any type of playing tug, playing with the ball, any kind of interaction between us, I felt like that was engagement. But it turns out I was a little, not misinformed, but underinformed, right? Because it turns out that there's actually several different kinds of engagement. And the engagement that you really want, that you really try to seek out and build in a dog, is one-way engagement. And I had no idea what that meant. I had no clue what one-way engagement meant. So let me explain to you what I mean by one-way engagement. So what I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna bring Riot outside here, and I'm just going to give you an example of what I thought engagement meant. So I'm gonna have this ball here in my pocket before I go and bring Riot outside. So he is not gonna see this ball or necessarily know that it's there. And so let's go bring him out and see what I mean by engagement as far as I understood it. I also want to take a second just to note that when I go into the house to grab Riot and bring him out here for this example, he is not in his crate. He is just out free right now in the house, probably laying down on the cool hardwood of the living room floor. That's probably where I'm going to find him. And I'm going to go get him and bring him out here. Hey. Hey. Hi, big boy. Hi. Hi. Yeah. Hi. I know. Okay. So he's just out here, you know, kind of looking for things to do, sniffing around, just having free time doing it, whatever he wants, right? So my idea is when I bring out the ball, I'm going to get that engagement, right? Riot. Riot boy. Here. See, he doesn't, he's literally trying to get to a bone right now. Okay, what you got? Riot. Here. Look. So I bring the ball out and now we're in a more drivey mode, right? So he wants this ball, which means that I can kick this out of the way. And that's way less important to him than this ball. But basically, I thought, you know, look at the way he looks at me, right? He's making eye contact with me. He's engaged with me. Like, this is engagement, you know? Like, he's gonna do what I ask him to do. We're gonna maybe do a little bit of obedience work. Maybe we'll play some fetch, we'll play some tug, whatever. To me, when I brought the toy out and he was engaged with me, that was my picture of engagement. I felt like I have engagement with my dog. Boy, was I wrong, because I want to show you now the difference between Riot and Fury. Fury is actually a dog that really gives me one-way engagement. Riot. All right, so I'm getting ready to bring Fury outside. And again, I just want to note, Fury is not free roaming my house right now. Fury has been in her crate for the last 3 hours. She has not been out of her crate in 3 hours. Again, I am not going to show her that I have a ball. I've got my ball concealed in my pocket, so she should not know that it's there. It's not something I'm going to show her. And I'm going to bring her out, and I want to see if you guys can spot the difference in that behavior. Right? I don't have anything. She doesn't know I have anything. I brought her out of the crate. You get the point, right? She's right here. So let me just show you what it's like when we go to walk out to the field, okay? My dog is totally staring me down. She is not running off to the field ahead of me. She's looking at me. She's excited. She knows that I have what she wants, that I am her source of engagement. So this is the type of engagement that I'm looking for. She's gone and looked for a toy to bring to me, right? Like, she is engaged with me. I don't have to do anything to engage this dog. I need only exist. She is right here, ready to do anything I want her to do. That toy fell down. I know, are you so excited? Are you so excited? So I'm gonna pick this toy up and just stick it in my pocket, actually, because she went and found it in the grass. She's a resourceful little bugger, isn't she? And we're just gonna walk over here to where we usually go. So here we're walking over to the field where we go and train, like I said. And she is just all about me, right? Looking at me. She's not off running ahead in the grass. She's not out trying to sniff anything. Remember, she cannot see the toy here. The toy is hidden away in my pocket. I'm also not asking her to bark or run circles around me or push into me. I'm completely neutral, just walking to the field. Her engagement here is completely one way. It's all her, and she's being downright pushy, which is exactly what you want. Throw that for her, give her that reward. Good girl. Good girl. Now again, I'm not asking her to bark here. This is completely all on her own, one-way engagement with me. It's beautiful. It's exactly what I want. Wow, right? Completely different from what you thought engagement looked like. And you saw I was able to get engagement with Riot when I brought out some kind of motivator, but the difference was that I was not the motivator, right? That was the big difference. Fury, on the other hand, comes out and without seeing a toy or knowing that it's there, she knows in her mind and she associates me with being the highest value thing on the field. That no matter what she sees out there, no matter what her nose might capture and lead her to want to go sniff on or whatever, she knows that I am her source of engagement. And that was what you saw with all of her pushiness. She was pushy with her body language. She was stepping on my toes. She was leaning into me. She was really trying to manipulate me, even physically with her body, to try to engage with me. Now that is engagement. That's what engagement looks like. Engagement is not just luring your dog with toys and food or whatever. You have to be the motivator. And that's actually not super easy to do. And it was certainly something that I had no understanding of. So here are just a few ways that you can start to transform that relationship with your dog. All right, it's real talk now. And you guys are probably not gonna like some of the things that I have to say here, but I'm gonna say them anyway. Because if you really want engagement like what you just saw with Fury, then this is how you get there. Number one, especially if you're working with a puppy, you should not have unlimited or free access to the environment or with toys. So all of the toys that you have laying out all over the house need to come up. Toys are brought out for a specific purpose. Now that's different from offering your dog things to chew on, especially if you have a puppy. That's totally understandable, right? But there should be really high value toys that only come out when your dog is going to be working and engaging with you. So that could be things like the ball or the tug, for example. Neither one of those things is ever out on the floor or available for my dogs to access without me. I am the conduit that the dogs can access the ball and the tug through, and they know that. And here's another thing that I learned that I want to pass along to you guys, because I always thought that once I gave my dog the treat or the reward or I paid my dog, that was the motivator. That was what got my dog amped, right? Like that was the end result. That was what caused my dog to engage with me. When in fact, that is wrong. That's completely wrong. So what actually releases that dopamine hit in your dog's brain comes before the reward. And I did not understand that. And now that I do things differently. So now that you have this information, it might make you reconsider how you're working with your dog as well. Because it's the moments before your dog is gonna get paid, that predictability to playing with your dog and that the reward is coming, right? That reward is coming. That is the dopamine hit for your dog. It's not when the treat hits their tongue, like I thought. It's before that. And so if you have an understanding of that, then that's gonna greatly change how you interact with your dog. Because basically what that leads to is, can your dog predict that the engagement with you is going to get him paid? So when that toy is out of sight, out of mind, is it really out of mind for your dog? You saw that it wasn't for Fury, right? That was a clear example that just because the toy was out of sight, it was not out of mind. She knows with 100% predictability that the conduit between getting to the ball or getting to the reward, the food, the tug, whatever it is you're using, is you. It's you. You are the person that, is going to be able to provide that paycheck to your dog at the end of the session or at the end of the asked behavior. You're the person that provides that engagement. So let's try another fun little exercise. I'm gonna take whatever this is she's chewing on right now out, and I'm gonna put it in my pocket so that it's out of sight, and I'm gonna see how long, let's time it, we'll see how long she stares at me and tries to get me to interact with her when I'm just neutral. I'll put the toy in my pocket and I'll just go neutral, and we'll see how long she stares at me and engages with me and tries to push me and interact with me. So like I said I did, I have that toy in my pocket here, and we're just gonna go neutral and just see how long she stares at this toy or me and tries to push at me or get me to engage with her. For the sake of this video, I did go ahead and speed this up by 426%, which means that we essentially stood here for like 3 minutes. And you do see me talking through the fact that we're going to be dealing with the distraction of the mailman coming by, and she really doesn't seem to care. This is totally one-way engagement. I'm completely neutral, but she is totally focused and engaged with me. Another great way to assess your level of engagement is to go ahead and take your dog out on the field and just play with your dog. Just you. No toys, no treats, no ball, no tug, nothing. Just you and your dog. Can you go out and just touch your dog and push on your dog and run with your dog and just get your dog to engage with you? With no toys or treats or food or motivation, third-party motivation of any kind, can you get that kind of engagement from your dog? Go give it a try. So we just covered toys and how your dog should not have free access to specific toys, especially the ball or the tug if you're dealing with a Malinois. Another thing that you can do is really leverage that time that your dog spends in their crate. So to keep your dog withheld from you is in fact a way to increase that engagement. Because like I said, Riot was out in the house with me and had spent several hours with me right before I brought him outside. Whereas you saw that Fury, on the other hand, had actually been in her crate for 3 hours. And so she was a lot more hungry for that interaction with me than Riot was. And so this is definitely something that you should be doing, especially if you have a puppy. They should actually be spending a lot of time in their crate. And every session that you spend with your dog should look like this: crate, play session, train session, crate. There should be a crate on each end of your training session. Your dog should be able to predict that when they come out of the crate, they've just been starved of your affection. And when they come out, that means it's you time. It's all about you. And then when they're done playing with you, where do they have to go? Back into their crate, where they're deprived of you again, right? And so by keeping them on that kind of schedule where it's crate, training, crate, then you are building that predictability of engagement with you, of the engagement with you being the reward when they come out of the crate. And look, I know that some of that is really hard to hear, but the truth is that withholding toys, withholding yourself, withholding affection, those things really do lead to building that motivation and building that desire to want to interact with you, to want to engage with you, to want to interact and engage with the toy. I mean, when you limit access to things, that only makes you want them more. That's just training 101. And so sometimes the best things that we can do for our dog isn't always the most comfortable thing. But in the long run, I think that you'll be happier for it because you will have a very, very engaged Malinois. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for today. As always, please make sure that you subscribe, like this video, give it a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and share it with a friend. And make sure that you ring the bell for notifications because I upload a new video every single Saturday. I love you too, buddy. We'll see you same time next week.